Welcome back to another episode of our Kings related podcast, wherever you may be. And this recap of the Sacramento Kings 128 to 116 loss on this Thursday evening against the Chicago Bulls. 24 hours ago, after one of the Kings' biggest wins of the season against the best team in the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Sacramento Kings followed that up with a game where they were in control much of that first half, and they let it slip away to the Chicago Bulls. And Kevin Huerter has his revenge game against his former team. The Sacramento Kings, they led this game as much as 19 points early, but they never put the Bulls away. The game really changed towards the end of that second quarter, where Chicago, they went on a run going into halftime, and the Kings never recovered as Chicago was in complete control in that second half. They were more physical in this game. Chicago, they got into the paint early, and they continued, and they started hitting their threes in this game. And the Kings, they had 11 threes in the first quarter, and they finished this game tonight. The Kings from beyond the arc with 15. So the Kings threes did not fall throughout the night. As the game went on, the Bulls started hitting the threes. Kobe White, who had 4 points at halftime for Chicago, he had 31 points in that second half. Kevin Huerter in this game, 25 points for the Bulls, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. He had 4 steals, a block, and he was 5 of 9 from 3, including 2 daggers of threes late in this ball game to really put this game away. And then Kobe White, 35 points, 5 assists in this game. He was 10 of 18 from the field, and he really burned this team. Vucevic, 4 of 5 from 3, 24 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists for Vucevic in this game. And those were the 3 main guys on the Chicago Bulls that really did the damage for Chicago in this game. But they were the more physical team, and the Kings, you were up 19 early in this game, and they took their foot off the gas, and they let the Chicago Bulls back in this game. When you should have put them away early, when you have the chance. At the end of the first quarter, the Sacramento Kings, they led this game 39 to 28 after 1. Sacramento was 11 of 17 from deep, and they were just 1 of 6 from the 2-point range. Malik Monk was going off in that first quarter. He had 15 points. Trey Lyles had 12 points, and they had a combined 27 points. Between Monk and Trey Lyles, they had 9 threes in that first quarter for 9 of 11 in this game. So, and for the Sacramento Kings, after shooting 45% from long range last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sacramento, they lit up from 3 early. Again, 11 of 17 from 3. So, but the Chicago Bulls, they reduced that 19-point lead that the Kings had to just 9 points at halftime. That's when this game changed, in my opinion. When Chicago went on the run there towards the end of that second quarter, because and also the Chicago Bulls, a huge advantage with points in the paint, 34-10 at halftime. Just completely they dominated with the points in the paint there in the first half. The Kings, they had 10 points in the paint in that first half. Just not right. But the Kings, they got into that paint in the second half. But it wasn't enough for the Kings. So just a few highlights from a couple of players. Congratulations to DeMar DeRozan, 25,000 career points. Is spoiled by his former team in the Chicago Bulls. DeRozan in this game finished with 22 points. He's now 27th all time in the NBA in career points. Malik Monk, he brought the heat from the opening minutes of this ball game. He caught fire from long range in this game. He was 5 for 6 from deep in that first quarter, as I just mentioned. He was 12 for 19 from the field overall, and he finished with a 34 points and also with 5 assists in this game. Trade day. Thursday was trade day, as like Malik Monk, Trey Lyles came out looking for his 3-point shot. The big man Lyles couldn't miss early on hitting his first, I think it was 3 to 4 triples on his way to scoring 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists in this ball game. And Lyles, he is starting to string a nice little run here late in the season, starting to play better as we head towards the end of this regular season. So as I mentioned, Kevin Huerter, as he had his revenge game, not so quite for Zach LaVine, who spent 8 years in Chicago as a member of that organization. And there were some expectations that he would come out with some extra motivation, some extra juice in this game, but that wasn't the case. Zach LaVine played close to 31 minutes. He had 8 points in this game. He was 2 for 9 from the field. He was basically a non-factor in this ball game for majority of this game, and that's just not acceptable for this Kings team to have Zach LaVine as a non-factor. They have got to do a better job of trying to set Zach up for his shots. And Malik Monk said in post game, well, they got to do a better job setting up Zach LaVine in the offense. And tonight, I don't think the Sacramento Kings did a good job at setting up Zach for looking for a shot tonight. So, got to do a better job. Hopefully, he bounces back for Saturday's game against the Milwaukee Bucks. Jake LaRavia, who missed that Cleveland game because of an illness, big one. So, but he bounced back tonight, and he brought the energy off the bench in this game in a losing effort. He was feisty on the defensive end of the floor. That's one part of Jake's game. Well, I think he doesn't get enough credit on the defensive end, but he finished the night with 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists in this game. And Keegan Murray, solid outing for Keegan. He didn't put up big numbers in this game, but he was solid in his 38 minutes of action when he was on the floor. 10 points. He grabbed 8 rebounds. He dished out 3 assists and also 3 block shots. He even played small ball center for small stretches in this game, because I think when Doug went to that small ball line, gave some success in last night's game, and some success in tonight's game when they went to that small ball lineup. So not a great game for the Kings. Just 24 hours ago, when you coming off, I think, your second biggest win of the season against the East leading Cavaliers, and then you come out tonight, control most of that first half. You have a 19-point lead. That's where, as a team, you got to put this Chicago team away. This is not a great. This is a Chicago team. It's not a great team. It's a Chicago team that's in a similar situation as the Kings. 9th in the play-in. They're in the Eastern Conference, and this is a Bulls team that gives up a lot of points in the paint, and I don't think the Sacramento Kings did enough in this game of going downhill, getting into the paint in this game like the Chicago Bulls did against us in this game. And the physicality of this game, the Bulls were much more physical in this game. Chicago, they won that second quarter. When they made their run, they won that second quarter by 2. They came out in that third quarter, 37 points in that third. The Kings 25, and then in that fourth, it was Kobe White, and of course it was Kevin Huerter in that fourth quarter, and the Bulls put up 36 points in that fourth quarter, and that's what it was for the Kings in this game. Just disappointing for the Kings coming off that game last night against Cleveland. Um, and this is how you started off the game well, but you got to put when you are up against teams like you were tonight, you got to put them away because you knew this Bulls team was going to make a run, and the Kings never recovered when they did make that run late in the second quarter, and that's where this game changed, as I said, in my opinion. So the Kings, I, I thought they took care of the ball tonight. Just 11 turnovers in this game. Chicago had 20 points off those turnovers. Chicago had 12 turnovers. The Kings, 15 points off of those turnovers. But Trey Lyles was the main guy off the bench for the Kings, 22 points. You had Jake with 10 points. Not much else from anybody off the bench. But JV was a non-factor as well in this game. Did not play a lot. I thought the Kings played more small ball in this game. Gave them much more success in this game. And of course, Zach LaVine, a non-factor in this game for the Sacramento Kings, as they are now 35 and 34 on the season, and they are in that 9th seed of the play-in. So with Phoenix right behind you in 10th, and then you got Dallas in 11th, and then you got the Portland Trailblazers there in 12th, and it does not get easier. Now you are 2-1 on this crucial 7-game homestand, and it doesn't get easier on Saturday night, where you got the Milwaukee Bucks in town, and they got a big win tonight down in Los Angeles against the Lakers, 118 to 89. And the big story there, you got Giannis, 28 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists in that game. And then you got Kyle Kuzma, 20 points he chipped in. And then you got Gary Trent Jr. off the bench with 23 points. So this is a Bucks team that's really good, and Milwaukee, they're right now 5th in the Eastern Conference. So, and this is a Bucks team that beat you earlier this season in Milwaukee, and then after that game on Saturday, you got another back-to-back Monday and Tuesday against Boston and Oklahoma City. So hopefully the Kings do bounce back on Saturday. Like we just saw what the Kings did last night against Cleveland. So this is the Jekyll and Hyde of the Kings season. This Kings season, like, you could literally write a book about this season of the Sacramento Kings. Like, it's been a crazy season. So Kings fall 128-116 to the Chicago Bulls in disappointing fashion, where they were in control for most of that first half, and they took the foot off the gas. So they back in action Saturday. Other scores around the NBA, you got the Indiana Pacers getting a big win in overtime over Brooklyn, 105-99. You got Golden State beating Toronto by 3. Steph Curry left that game after falling hard on his back that he's been dealing with an injury. And then you got the New York Knicks losing back-to-back games here as they fall to the Charlotte Hornets 115-98. That's a bad loss for New York. So Kings, disappointing game after just 24 hours ago, as you get one of your biggest wins 24 hours ago and you come back and you drop this game against Chicago in a Kevin Huerter revenge game. Kobe White just goes off in that second half. Again, Kobe White, 4 points at halftime, 31 points in that second half. And the Kings were not the same team like they were early in that first half. So Kings lose. They are now one game over 500. They are back in action Saturday against the Milwaukee Bucks for Game 4 of this 7-game homestand. And we'll be back for another post-game recap following that game on Saturday night. Thanks for tuning in to our Kings-related YouTube channel. Don't forget, please hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below in the YouTube comments. And if you're listening on your preferred audio platform, Apple, Spotify, please hit that follow button, rate 5 stars, leave a nice little review, be much appreciated. And also available wherever else you get your podcasts. Kings fall to the Chicago Bulls and back in action Saturday night against Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. Take care and go Kings.